Johnny Mirror here, and today we're going to have a little fun video. We're going to be talking, theoretically, what if the next generation Xbox console released late 2026? What if the rumors are true and Xbox is starting their next generation earlier than normal? And we're going to be talking about all the different rumors of what games they could possibly be working on and what games could possibly release on the next Xbox console. Now, more specifically, this video, I'm going to be listing off 10 games that I would want to see on the next Xbox console. So, if you guys love gamings, Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, third party, whatever. I said if you love gamings. That's weird. If you love gaming, like I do, consider subscribing, consider sharing with your friends. I really do appreciate any support you guys give me, especially on the video right here. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into 10 games I would love to see on the next Xbox console. So, the first one, I feel like we need to get some of the obvious ones out of the way here. And I think the most obvious thing you can have on any Xbox console is a new Halo game. Halo is their flagship franchise, although as of recently, it doesn't seem like it, but it is. Let's be honest, Halo is the Xbox franchise. Master Chief is the Xbox mascot, no matter how dark some days may seem. It is. And I do think a new Halo could be really good. I personally love Halo Infinite. I think that game has such just an unfortunate narrative around it. It launched with critical and fan acclaim. I mean, it won Player's Choice Awards at the Game Awards the year it came out, and it scored really high because its solo campaign was awesome. It was really, really good. Unfortunately, and even the multiplayer was really good. Unfortunately, 343 was not prepared to deliver enough content for a live service in modern times to succeed, and therefore it kind of had a really, really slow start, and it kind of gave it a bad rap. But if you play Halo Infinite right now, there is so much content. It is so fun, and I do think there could be another Halo that just knocks it out of the park. I think a lot of us were expecting like a DLC for Halo Infinite, specifically for the main campaign, and we didn't get it. But I think that's because they just decided to go ahead and start working on the next entry. And I think that is absolutely the right idea. I think take what you've learned from your mistakes with Halo Infinite, not having enough content to sustain it, and just build the biggest, best Halo you possibly can. And I think that is what it's going to do. Now, I don't know what this game is going to be called. I don't know if it'll be called Halo 7. I don't know if it'll be called Halo Infinite 2, Halo Apocalypse. I don't know what it's going to be called, But what I want is Halo to return to just delivering fantastic first-person experiences, fantastic first-person multiplayer, and I want it in the spotlight of Xbox, because having a twisted narrative on your flagship franchise is not something you want to see, and I do feel like Halo needs to re-solidify itself as one of the best of the best. And I haven't wavered. I still think Halo is fantastic, but to a lot of people it has. And so we need it back, and we need it on the next Xbox. Another one that I think is very, very possible. Now, I will say there is going to be a lot of platformers on this list, because when I look at all the IP and franchises Xbox owns, low-key, they're kind of becoming the home of, like, one of the best places for platformers. Nintendo will always hold the title for the home of platformers just because they have the biggest. But when I look at, like, how many platformers Xbox has, dude, they could low-key cook an insane library of platformers. You have the one I'm about to mention. We'll get to some of them later, but for me, I think the one I would most want is actually, surprisingly or not, and I thought about this, probably Crash Bandicoot 5. Crash Bandicoot is probably one of my favorite, if not top. It's definitely top 3 platforming franchises of all time. And Crash 4, I thought, was the best in the franchise. And I do think just upping that is going to make it even better. Like, I absolutely love the idea of getting another Crash Bandicoot to the quality of Crash Bandicoot 4. And I would absolutely love that. But also, another platformer I would love to see on the next Xbox is Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie has been one of the most requested games to return, not even just for Xbox, like, of all gaming. Like, it is one of the most requested, like pipe dream comebacks anybody could have ever thought about, and I do think there is a chance. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm confident in it, but I do think there is a chance. I don't know what studio would make it. I would love for Toys for Bob to give it a shot. I think they would knock it out the park. But I do think that there is a chance. Not confident, but absolutely, I would want to see this on the next generation of Xbox. Let's just go ahead and get all the platformers out the way. Alongside Crash 5, I do think it is time for a new Spyro game. Now, this one's a little interesting because if you would have asked me like 2 years ago, I would have said there is a very good chance Spyro 4 releases this generation. But I think because of the whole Toys for Bob situation, going independent, getting acquired, well, getting acquired and then going independent, and apparently now there's rumors of some games getting canceled and stuff like that. I do think that if there is a Spyro 4, it is very early in development, and I don't see us seeing it until 2026, maybe even 2027, the earliest. So I do think it will be on the next generation. But I would absolutely love to see Spyro. I love Spyro. I love Crash a little more, but I also love Spyro. Two of them are two of my favorite platforming franchises. And yeah, I think Spyro 4 would just be really, really cool to see what a modern-day Spyro could be like. I do think the older Spyro games and even the remakes, while they're super fun, definitely can be deeper. Like, I definitely think it's definitely more of the simple, basic platformers of the bunch. But I would love to see them just expand that world and that character next generation. And then the last platformer I'm going to talk about is, of course, Psychonauts. We need to see a third entry. We need to see a third installment in the Psychonauts franchise. It is so creative. Double Fine is so fantastic. And Psychonauts 2 was just nothing short of phenomenal. I would like to see them, take it up a notch. Give us a deeper story. Give us more attachment to some of these characters. Give us bigger and creative ideas. I would just love to see it. I love what Psychonauts 2 was able to do. I think a third installment could be absolutely fantastic. But now let's get into some crazy stuff. All right. Wolfenstein 3. I get we're getting Indiana Jones, and that is why I'm putting it on this list. We're getting Indiana Jones this year. That is what Machine Games has been working on ever since Wolfenstein Youngblood, which obviously was their failed attempt at a live service game. That was during their dark days with Bethesda trying to do live service games. Fallout 70 sucks. Elder Scrolls Online, Youngblood, you get the point. But I do think when you finish Indiana Jones in the Great Circle, assuming it doesn't sell like 20 million copies and Xbox is like, yep, we need another one, I do think Wolfenstein 3 is the play after Indiana Jones. I wouldn't be shocked if they already have started working on it. I wouldn't be shocked if they've gotten to a big enough size as a studio to be working on multiple projects at once. And I do think they're focusing heavy on Indiana Jones, but once that game is finished, they're gonna rotate almost most of their sources, all of their sources, to whatever they're working on. So I wouldn't be shocked if Wolfenstein 3 is already kind of being worked on, either in concept or just early development. But yeah, we need to see Wolfenstein 3. I absolutely love the Wolfenstein games. I actually introduced one of my friends to the Wolfenstein games the other day, and he was absolutely loving it. And just watching him play it made me realize how badly I want another one, because at the end of the day, it was like 2017, I do believe, the last time we got Wolfenstein 2, I think, or was it 2019? 2017, I do believe. And man, that game holds up today. And just knowing how talented Machine Games is, Wolfenstein 3 would absolutely cook next generation. And I think we need it. We need it bad. Please, Machine Games, do the right thing and give us it. Another game from Bethesda catalog, but I don't think this is actually going to come from Bethesda. And this is one of the biggest and honestly highest potential franchises Xbox currently owns, and that is Fallout. Fallout has recently taken off to a whole new level because of the TV show, and I think even Xbox knows they need to capitalize on this. They cannot let this hype and momentum just go away. And I do think they have shifted plans a little bit to give us a Fallout game. And in my eyes, I think the right move here is give us a sequel to the fan favorite, Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas 2 would be awesome. And I do think Obsidian has the capabilities of doing this. I think Obsidian, after Avowed, they're working on Outer Worlds 2 right now. They've been working on Outer Worlds 2, but they've also been working on Avowed side by side. Once you take Avowed out, you add in Fallout New Vegas 2, you release Outer Worlds 2, and then you have Fallout New Vegas 2. I think it'd be really smart. I think it'd be a home run. And I know everybody wants to see it. And boy, I can't even imagine what a Fallout New Vegas 2 would look like on current generation or next generation modern technology. The budget that Xbox can give. Man, that would just be such a banger, and I would want it so bad. And now we have 3 more games left to talk about, and these are really interesting. One of them is, or 2 of them are bringing back franchises that have. One of them is completely dormant, completely dead. Like it would need a complete revival. One of them has just kind of been like in the background for a while that I think needs to take a front seat again. And one of them is like, I don't know what you'd classify it as. I think you'd classify it as like, I don't know. But let's go and start with that one. And with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, they acquired the IP of Call of Duty. And I think what you need to do, please a lot of fans, is bring back what many consider to be the greatest Call of Duty of all time, myself included, no contest. I would love to see a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 remaster. Now, I had a talk with my friend earlier, and do not make a remake. Do not remake Black Ops 2, because there's something special about Black Ops 2 and the nostalgia that I feel like if you like completely modernized it, it would almost ruin some of its charm. Whereas, just make it playable again. Just remaster it, make it playable, and that is all we need. All we need, all we want. Bring back the greatest Call of Duty of all time with a Black Ops 2 remaster, and I'm all for it. Maybe if you want to get crazy, like add in like a bonus map, maybe add in some of the Black Ops 1 maps to it. I think that could be kind of cool. I do think Black Ops 2 does need to come back in some shape or form. I do think adding it to Game Pass will be cool, but how great are those Xbox 360 servers today? I don't really know, so I'd love to see it get a full-on revamp. Not complete revamp, but an update to it for sure. And this next one is going to speak to a lot of people, because, man, does this game have such a strong fan base and community, and I also love this game. I wouldn't consider myself part of that community just because I don't like super get into it. I got into it a lot when it came out, and I've got into it a little bit recently again. But there are some hardcore fans of this series, and I would love to join that community one day, and that is for a new Killer Instinct game. Killer Instinct has so much potential, especially now. Killer Instinct was that. What would happen if we put a bunch of original characters mixed with a bunch of Xbox IP characters? You have the Gears of War monsters in this game. You have some of the Halo enemies. You have just a bunch of random characters from other games. You have Battletoads in this game. Now that Xbox has so much IP, can you imagine you just shove Doom Guy into it? You shove the Wolfenstein guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. You shove Master Chief in it. You shove like Lilith from Diablo 4. Can you imagine this huge, just classic fighting game with all these Xbox-owned IPs going head-to-head in what many believe to be one of the best games of last generation, fighting games of last generation? This would absolutely go crazy. This would absolutely go crazy, and I would go crazy, and I would absolutely love it, and I'm sure they would knock out the party. Now, I don't know who would develop it, but they need to figure it out ASAP, because we need it. We need it. And the last game I'm going to say is a franchise that I absolutely love that is pretty much completely dead. And this is pretty much a complete pipe dream. But if it happens, boy, would I probably cry. That is a Prototype 3. Prototype, if you don't know what it is this game where you play as this, like, anti-hero who has this, like, weird power where he can basically morph his body into all these different weapons. So he can turn his whole arm into, like, a giant knife, or he can turn his hand into, like, a giant wrecking ball, stuff like that, or he can, like, use his legs to, like, super jump, stuff like this. But it's like a Spider-Man game where you can just go around the city causing chaos, and just have, like, awesome traversal, awesome abilities, and just have fun. You can be a villain if you want, you can be a hero if you want. But it's just such an interesting concept with such addicting gameplay and just a lot of humor in a lot of ways, that I just think modern technology, man, can you imagine a game of the quality of, like, Spider-Man, but with this concept? Boy, that would go amazing. That would go absolutely crazy. And the thing is, all 10 of these games I listed here, are some of them very far-fetched? Absolutely. Are we going to get a new Crash, Spyro, and Banjo-Kazooie all next generation? Probably not. But is there a chance that any one of these games could happen? Sure. You know, I think definitely Prototype 3 is probably, like, the least likely. But, like, you never know. You never know. We never thought Fable would come back. We never thought we would get things that have happened. But sometimes miracles and dreams come true. But yeah, you guys let me know, what games would you love to see on a next generation Xbox? I'd love to have a conversation. I'd love to get some more ideas in my head for sure. Let me know. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.